Well, ready or not, here we go. We're walking into the upstairs of this barn. This is going to someday be the main building of the Old Ways Museum. At least that is my plan. I don't know how well this is going to film because there's a lot of light coming in through the cracks in the barn. The reason we're here is because of the set. Right there it is. Let me get centered up here so you can maybe see it better. It's all symmetrical. And we're going to go up here in that balcony and look down. I'll walk around a little bit more here so that you actually see what it's like to be on the stage. This is all horribly dirty. I know that. There's the back of a wonderful reed organ. Now I'm standing on the stage. There's the balcony where Juliet was. That was the Capulets. There's where the Prince came out. That's the balcony where the Montagues were. I forgot to bring a model that I have up in the house of the Globe Theater, a little model. This is a music stand that was made in the style of a Renaissance music stand for singing madrigals or playing recorders. 3 doors they usually have when it's all fixed up and cleaned up and painted up. They would have curtains where the actors could come in and go out. It's missing the huge pillars. I didn't want them. They're called the Pillars of Hercules. In the Globe Theater. All around you'll see machinery. The Old Ways Museum is a lot about old machinery, old ways of doing things. I guess there's nothing to keep you from pausing this video and studying stuff a little more closely, but I almost hope you won't. I'm going up a ladder. This is Friday in the 13th video, so it'd be a little bit funny if I fell. Okay, I'm on, I'm up in the balconies. Right here is where Juliet stood. Romeo was down there by that old piano. Let me go over to where the Prince came out. You probably hear pigeons. That's one of the reasons it's so dirty here. There's a pigeon right there, wondering what I'm doing here. Once I've built a home for these pigeons, I'm going to make them leave here, but I'm not willing to just get rid of them. I'm right up there where that pigeon is. I want to build what's called a dovecote. That's one of the things about Old Ways. You did keep pigeons on a farm. They had a role, but you controlled them. All right, coming down, you can see many treasures. I think of them as treasures. And all of this, I'll eventually... Well, not eventually, before too long I'll get it straightened up. I started to build a balcony, or a mezzanine, I guess you would call it right there, which I intend to do. I fell off a roof and broke my hip when I was in the middle of doing that, and I'll probably build a second story there. Even if I plan to put this set, to not keep it here, to actually take it out and put it up in the woods somewhere where it can be used, but I'll have to build a roof over it. And I'd still like to make it so it can all be torn down and taken somewhere. If there's any people into Shakespeare here that would really like to put on a play and use this set, well, find me, talk to me. Technically, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the Shakepearean Troupe. Down there's that music stand you're looking at. Right out here, the Prince came. At one point I had a girl, she was an 8th grade girl, maybe 7th grade girl at the time, and she shouted out, was supposed to shout out, "Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince." And down here there was a big brawl going on. They all threw their weapons to the ground and listened, and he goes on to say, three civil brawls brought of an airy word by thee, O Capulet, and thee, Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. Well, what was funny about that, though, was that the girl was so scared she came out here, and I don't think she was scared of heights. This whole thing will sway around if I wanted to, but I don't think she was scared of heights. She was just nervous, and she had her speech in her hand, and her hand was shaking so bad she could hardly get that speech out. I guess one other thing to show you, if you've got an eye for such things. My sister, my youngest sister, many years ago, was married near here, and she had a reception in this barn. We cleaned it all up. And it was at that point that, I wonder if you can see it right there, that I made these chandeliers. I need to replace the bulbs. I soldered the bulbs into them, and if you know what you're looking at, they're actually milker heads. They're what you put on a cow to milk a cow, and I sort of like them, but it's one of those things I have to see to. Well, one last time, we'll look at all my projects and benches and stuff. Later on, I'll bring you up here again. It's probably going to be quite a long time, and the place is going to look a whole lot better by then, I hope. So that's it for this week. See you next Monday, I hope.